Howdy everyone, I hope you're well and looking forward to another episode of Creating a Legacy. This is episode 14 and I'm going to be taking you through the second half of my 7th season in charge of West Ham. This is where I left you at the end of episode 13, another very successful first half to the season, absolutely flying, 54 points on the board after the first 19 games, having only lost one game all season, which was against Man City. Bit of a bogey team for us at the moment. It's now the end of the January transfer window. Unfortunately, we have lost a second game in the Premier League. It was against Liverpool. Those two teams, Liverpool and Man City, are our two biggest challenges. So it's no surprise that we do sometimes lose against them. But overall, we have improved our record against Liverpool for sure. We've also drawn a game which was 0-0 against Arsenal. So we're beating the teams we're meant to beat. And we're losing the odd game and drawing the odd game against the teams in and around us, but we're still a long way ahead of the competition, as you can see there. It was a fairly quiet January transfer window. A few players have come in, youngsters of course. Players going out, as always, lots of players going out on loan. Some of them were recalled and I've just sent them on to other teams. But we have sold one of our youngsters, one of our Americans actually, that we signed on a free transfer. So this is brilliant profit. He's gone back to North America. He's gone to Mexico, Pumas, for £12.25 million. That is good business. I'm never going to get a work permit for him, it seems. There's a lot of players that I've signed and I've hoped that they'll eventually get a work permit, and then after a couple of years they haven't managed to get one, so that's when I'm starting to think about selling them on. And it doesn't really matter when you're making profit. He's never going to get in the first team, so that's just good business, I think. Unfortunately, Todorov didn't make it. I had such high hopes for him. He looked really good at one point, and I thought it was going to work out for him. He played a few games in the first team when he was, I think, 16, 17. And then he went on multiple loans just because it didn't quite work for him in the first team. I knew he wasn't going to make it at that point. So I loaned him out to Forest Green. He had a really good season. Portsmouth in the Championship, not so good for him, so I moved him back to League One, but he didn't really get played by Burton. So he went back to Forest Green, the team where I had a lot of success at, 2 seasons later in the Championship, and he did all right. But he hasn't developed how I would have hoped. Maybe it's my fault for not keeping him at the club and developing him more here, using our facilities and training facilities and brilliant coaches, etc. Perhaps that would have been the better option. Oh, by the way, since the update, I don't know if you've heard, but there's a winter update. The Regen's faces have changed. I think they've been improved. I would say they have been improved, but obviously some of our players look a little bit different now as a result. Different hairstyles. Anyway, Todorov's gone to Derby County for only £1.5 million. We didn't make any profit on him. It's just one of those players that didn't work out, unfortunately. And 3 more players to be sold for profit as well. Sebastian Rebello, who has been capped 3 times by Colombia, but I still couldn't get a work permit for him. Maybe if I'd given him a bigger contract, that might have helped. But I didn't think he would make it. He's all right, but he's never going to... Considering where we are now, we need to find exceptionally talented players to be able to make it into the first team for us. But we have sold him for a significant profit. Also leaving the club is Gustavo Luiza. You probably don't remember him because he only came in last season for £900,000. I've sold him back to Colombia, to Pasto, for £6.75 million. Brilliant business. And lastly, Kenneth Reynolds for only £40,000. I signed him on a free. I just couldn't get rid of him. No one wanted him on loan because of the work permit issues. He's moved to FC Lorient, but I don't know how they're going to get a work permit for him, unless it's easier over there, I don't know. Coming into the team then, not as many transfers as last year. Remember, I went a bit mad in January last season, didn't I? But still a few. Ryan Thompson from LA Galaxy, loaned him out to my affiliate because no one else wanted him. I don't think he's going to play there, but he's going to be a player that I hopefully can sell on for profit again. We shall see. Peter Duffy on a free transfer, young centre-back. We've then got another American, Ryan Baker, central midfielder. And then an Egyptian for £500,000 who's actually got some decent potential, I think. Look at that. Really good potential. So I think he could be a bit of a bargain. But once again, work permit issues. I've actually loaned him out to Vallecano in Spain. He's got 5 caps for Egypt already. Another free American, Logan Porter, a centre-back. And lastly, Rolando Corona, hopefully not going to infect my entire squad with coronavirus, a Mexican left winger who doesn't look too bad. I've loaned him out to Leipzig. I was a bit surprised they wanted him. He's just going to be a squad player. But yeah, no, there's some potential there to be a decent player as well. So a few youngsters have come in and improved the team. I almost sold Diangana. Grady Diangana was wanted by, I can't even remember who, to be honest. But the club in question, it might actually say here, let's just see. No, it doesn't show. The club in question wanted to spend, well, they were willing to spend £50 million, £30 million up front, £20 million over the next 3 years, something like that, plus a 25% sell-on fee, not even percentage sell-on fee. If they sold him, I'd get 25%. But he rejected them. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Watford, actually. £50 million for him. That's what I wanted. That was my asking price. He's 27. He's kind of like a third choice right winger for us because, of course, we've got Kemp and we've got Skankov. He can play on the left as well. But he's not played as much football as you can see. And he's just got injured, literally after rejecting the contract from the other team. Transfer window closed and he got injured. So it's frustrating because he has been a good player for us. And he's scored goals, he's got assists every single season. But this year, he's gone down the pecking order a bit, which is surprising because he's actually in his prime now. But not surprising because we've improved so much as a club that he just isn't quite at our level that is required, I suppose. I probably will try and sell him in the summer. But I don't think I'm going to ever manage to convince the team to pay £50 million for him now because he's not playing enough for me. He's picked up a couple injuries recently. Which is the other reason why he hasn't played so much this season, I suppose. This is his damaged kneecap. He got a virus previously. It's a shame because I really like him and he's come through our academy and he has played well for us over the years, but I think it is time to let him go. But it is frustrating that he rejected the contract. Of course, we almost sold Skankov as well in the summer to Man United for £75 million, but he rejected them. We're at the stage where we're the best team in the world. Why would a player want to leave? We've got superb facilities, state-of-the-art youth facilities, state-of-the-art training facilities. I'm currently improving the data analysis facilities to be state-of-the-art as well. A player wouldn't really want to leave. They're earning good money. A lot of the players are still playing for the first team, just maybe not as much as they would have liked. So, yeah, it's a tricky one. Oh, I've loaned out Morelli, which you might be surprised about because he had a decent first half of the season. 3 goals and an assist, but he didn't play very much. And I thought he needs some Premier League experience where he's actually playing for in the first team every single week. He's moved to Norwich, who are in the relegation zone, but that will do him some good, I think. And the fact that he's going to be playing Premier League football every week will really improve him. And he'll come back next year stronger and hopefully be our second choice shadow striker. He was our second choice shadow striker, but it'll be even better, an even better option behind our Brazilian Germano, who I have given... no, not yet. I'm going to give him a new contract because I don't want him to earn that 5th Brazilian cap. Because if he gets 5 Brazilian caps, his wage suddenly goes up to 275k a week, which would mean he's the highest earner. And he doesn't deserve to be the highest earner at the club. 2 months later, 1st of April 2026, we are flying and we're going to easily win the league. We're currently 11 points clear of Arsenal. We've already qualified for the Champions League. And we've won the Carabao Cup, finally. We found it tough the last few seasons. Last year we were knocked out in the 4th round by Liverpool. Previous year to that, we lost in the final, of course. But this year, we had a really tough run. We took on only Premier League clubs. We beat Man United 4-2 in the 3rd round. We beat Newcastle 1-0. We beat Aston Villa 4-2. As you can see, I played sort of second-string teams as well. Even against Man United, I put out sort of second-string. Then against Chelsea, I did put out my first choice team to get through to the final. But then I thought some of these players deserve to play in a big final. The likes of Katala and Shepherd, who are exceptional players, they deserve to play. So I stuck them out. Yes, there was a mix. We had our first choice, Kenneth in goal, of course. But other than that, it was a second choice team. Lesage, magnificent at right back, 1 assist and 9.0 rating. Perosi, Cardoso, Wagnerman. Shepherd played, came off for Rice. Katala scored 2 goals, and what a player he is. He is the star of today's thumbnail, as you will have seen. He's now grown some hair. Since the update, he's gone from completely bald, not a single hair on his head, to a lovely, luscious head of hair with that moustache. He kind of looks like he's from the 70s or something. He's a bit, yeah, he looks like a 40-year-old man, to be honest. Anyway, he's playing magnificently well, and he got 2 goals in the final. Botero managed to score as well. Really good to see him score. Our Colombian. And Cassini, Raimundo Cassini, our Italian striker who was on loan at Sheffield United last year. Has got 3 goals this season already and 2 assists in not that many games. Pleased for him. So a young team managed to defeat Reading 4-0 in the Carabao Cup final, and we've won this trophy for a second time now. If I just show you, there we go. 2022 we won it, Liverpool won it 3 years in a row, and we are the winners again in 2026. So the quadruple is on. Well, it was on until we lost 4-1 against Liverpool in the FA Cup 5th round. So for another year we're not going to be able to complete the quadruple. It's just one step too far for us. Looks like we're going to win the Premier League. We've won the League Cup, we're going strong in the Champions League, but the FA Cup, it's not going to be ours this year. We've won it 3 of the last 4 seasons, remember, but not this year. However, in the Champions League, we are going strong. We beat Bayern Munich in the first knockout round 3-1 away from home and 2-0 at home. Belotti is on fire. He's already got 37 goals this season in 37 appearances. He's just unbelievably good. He's not really playing for Italy either, because of his age, and they've got a plethora of talent in the attacking third of the pitch. As you can see here, he's not listed on this list of top Italian players. They've got an exceptional team, but he just keeps banging in the goals for us, and he's got another year on his contract at the end of this season. I don't think I'm going to be able to find a better striker than him to come in and score the goals. I'm tempted to sell him in the summer whilst he's still valuable, but who do I bring in? There's loads of strikers out there. They're just so expensive, some of these young players. Anyway, as you can see, we're still going really strong in the league, scoring tons of goals. It's an exciting season. So we sailed through to the semi-final of the Champions League thanks to a 0-0 draw away from home against Real Madrid in the quarter-final first leg, and a 3-1 win at home thanks to goals from Belotti, Dilrosun and Germano, who, by the way, has received a new contract. He's now on 200k a week. Joint second highest earner at the club. There's plenty of players on that. Of course, Kenneth is the highest earner on 210, but he will actually overtake Kenneth after a couple seasons because he's got a 5% yearly wage rise in there. It was really tough negotiating because he knew he was going to go up to 275 at some point, and I had to convince him to go to 200. I just want to keep some sort of wage structure. I don't want Germano being the highest earner because he isn't the best player at the club. But he is a good player. He's got a huge loyalty bonus, as you can see there, and lots of other bonuses in there, and that 5% yearly wage rise. It was really close, actually, because he signed this contract 2 or 3 hours before making his 5th appearance for Brazil. I actually got a notification straight after he'd signed this contract saying Germano's made his 5th appearance for Brazil and he's going to earn 275k a week. And I thought, well, what's going on? He just signed this contract. It was just so close together, the game must have got a bit confused. So he is on 200 rather than 275. So that's a bit of a relief because that's a significant difference, isn't it? Anyway, through to the semi-final of the Champions League, we had to do it the hard way this season. We really did. Bayern Munich in the first knockout round, Real Madrid in the quarter-final, PSG in the semi-final. Those teams spent huge amounts of money, more than us really, until this season when we signed Kenneth. But previously to that, these teams have signed so many players. I mean, they've got De Bruyne. I know they're sort of players getting on a bit, but they spent big money on a fairly old De Bruyne. They've got Mbappe, of course, who is unbelievably good. They've got this Paz guy, who's a Bolivian superstar, world-class player. They've got Vate up front, the Spaniard, an elite winger. They've got such a good team, but we beat them 1-0 at home, and then we won 2-1 away from home to go through 3-1 on aggregate. Cameron Kemp and Dilrosun with the goals. Unfortunately, you may have noticed Olmo got injured in the previous leg, so he's only just about back in time for the final. But I probably won't play him because Katala has been absolutely magnificent in that position. Not sure what's going on here. Everything's going down, but he has been stupendous this season. So this is how the 2025-26 Premier League season finished. We are champions again. 102 points. Not quite as good as last year because we did lose one more game. We scored 5 less goals and conceded 4 more, but it still was a phenomenal season, finishing 12 points ahead of Arsenal, and it is our 5th Premier League title in a row, 6 out of 7 during this series. How have I done this? I don't know. I mean, now we're really good, but how did I do it initially? I know a few people have asked me, and I think the main reason to start with was the tactic. It really was just such a good, overpowered tactic in that first season. I might do a separate video. Someone did ask if I could do a video looking at basically all my players focusing on the youth in particular, maybe looking at some ex-players, seeing where they've gone. I might do a sort of roundup video just to talk about what's happened so far. If anyone's interested in that, let me know. Look at poor old Preston. 3 wins and 3 draws, 12 points. Norwich didn't do much better, even though I gave them Morelli. It's a bit boring, the teams behind us this year. Arsenal, Liverpool, Chelsea, City, Spurs, Man United. Last year we had Leeds in there, didn't we? Which is a bit more interesting. Belotti was top goal scorer. Again, 27 goals. He actually only made 27 appearances. We'll look at the awards in a second. Dilrosun, Belotti on the average rating. Dilrosun, second highest number of assists. Kenneth with the second highest number of clean sheets. If we look at the awards, Golden Glove, Stephen Webber of Arsenal managed to beat Kenneth to that. But he's had a good season. Now, his average rating has improved. I talked about in the last video about it not being great. There is a reason for that. As I've explained, goalkeepers just don't get very good ratings since the update a few weeks ago. But I've changed him to being an attacking sweeper keeper in the tactic. And that does seem to have made a difference. Now, a few people have been asking me for me to upload this tactic. I will have uploaded this to the Steam Workshop by the time this video is uploaded. I'll put a link in the description below so you can find it. It's obviously an improvement on the initial tactic that I had. Or the initial tactic was very good for the original version of FM20. Since the update, this has been more effective, of course. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh, yes, goalkeepers. But so as you can see, all the goalkeepers that finished first, second, third in the Golden Glove, not great average ratings. That's just a thing with goalkeepers on the game, it seems. Although, I wonder what happens if we look at a team perhaps in the bottom 3. Does their goalkeeper, because they're facing more shots, are they getting better ratings? Sam Johnston, no, 6.84. But let's just go through and have a quick look. Southampton, goalkeeper, 6.81. Spurs, 6.83. Yeah, that's just a theme. That just seems, no one seems to be above 6.9. I think the Liverpool goalkeeper, Alisson, had a better rating from what I remember. Although there he is, 6.9. No, not great, really. I mean, that's just, yeah, that seems to be an issue. But since I've changed him to being an attacking sweeper keeper, and he's getting more involved in spreading balls out wide, and he's now got the trait of being able to use a long throw to start counter-attacks, I think he is getting better ratings, because it was at 6.8 and now it's at 6.88 overall for the whole season. His passing's gone up by 1. He's improving. He's still improving. He's unbelievable, this goalkeeper. Obviously, I picked up Manager of the Year again. No surprise there. Players Player of the Year went to Saka. Because Dilrosun won it last year, but Saka this year. He's a good player. I almost signed him at one point. Kind of annoyed that I didn't. But then again, he plays in Dilrosun's position. Team of the Year. Not as many as last year, actually. Look at that last year. This year, the back 4... Pellegrini, Martinez, Todibo and Aarons, and Belotti up front. But Arsenal have dominated this year, actually. They've had a good season. Young player went to Saka as well. I mean, it's so bored. 24 seems a bit silly. And there we go, Belotti. 27 goals in 27 appearances. Only 2 assists. But that's not really what he's about. So just to recap this season, I'll scroll down and you can see, very few defeats in there. That defeat against Man City, defeat against Liverpool, another defeat against Liverpool in the FA Cup. And that is it. We're unbeaten in the Champions League this year. And we're going to be taking on Barcelona in the Champions League final for a second season in a row. Of course, last year we beat them 4-1. We want to do that again, if not better. Let's win 6-0, something ridiculous. That would be amazing. We are the favourites. Our record against them is good. We have an exceptionally talented squad. Better than theirs, I think, by this point. Declan Rice is going to fight through this game with injections. I'm hoping he doesn't get too badly injured as a result, because we've got the World Cup coming up. And England want to retain their title. Declan Rice has been called up, of course. He's an important player for England. Cameron Kemper's been called up. Max Aarons has been called up. He actually keeps Trent Alexander-Arnold out of the team at times, which surprises me. He's such a good right back. But when you look at Trent Alexander-Arnold, look at his attributes. He's got nothing below a 12. He's unbelievable, but he's almost too good to be playing at right back. He should be playing in midfield. He should really play in midfield, I think, with those attributes. He's just such a good player. But sometimes Max Aarons plays ahead of him. He's got 12 caps now. And the other player to be called up is Lewis Shepherd, who's been capped 3 times. I'm surprised he's been capped 3 times and Kemp hasn't been capped at all. But I hope he does get capped at the World Cup. He has been so good. His dribbling's gone up by another number. Finishing's gone up to 11. In fact, I can show you. Look at his progress over the last few years. what a player this guy is. Strangely, he was never capped a huge number of times by the under-21 team, 3 goals in 5 games. He was always a winger that was on the cusp of being good. Like, he wasn't a wonder kid, but he was a good young player, and he's become a great winger. Perhaps he will become world-class at some point, but, you know, the first loan spell from didn't really work out for him when he was 16, 17, but the second and third one did. And then he came back to us, and in that second full season, really, he was so good last year. 22 goals, 13 assists. Not quite so good this year in terms of his stats, 15 goals and 12 assists, but he has become a mainstay in the team, really important for us. I just love him to bits. What a player. So just before we get on with this Champions League final, I think we need to focus on the youth to start with. I know some people perhaps aren't interested so much in the actual live matches. You're more interested in this nitty-gritty stuff, and I think it makes sense to do this first before we focus on the match. So, lots of players out on loan this year, of course. If we look at the best rated players, Andelevic, the German central midfielder, had a really good year in France. One of those players is worth a lot of money, and if he doesn't break into the first team, we might be able to sell him on for a fair whack. Will Palmer left the club for the second half of the season and did well at Championship West Brom, scoring 4 goals. Che Lane did pretty well over in Holland, as you can see there. Was in the first team last year. His ethnicity has changed, I must say. He wasn't Caucasian before, but yeah, he's certainly changed quite a bit as Che Lane. Roberto Tomato. That actually does. I hadn't really noticed that before. Roberto Tomato. He's got a cap for Italy, which is really good. He's obviously had a good time at Fiorentina, and he's been called up to the Italian team. He's not been called up for the World Cup, but it's great that he's earned a cap. And there's plenty of other players that play well. Uruguayan wonder kid, 1 goal in 7 games for Uruguay. Had a good time over in France as well. Dan Suarez, I've really been impressed with him at Rotherham. A team that was predicted to finish bottom of the table, towards the bottom of the table, and they finished 7th. Not just down to him, but they were so close to getting into the playoffs, and he was a big part of that. Got 5 goals, 3 assists, really solid in central midfield for them. And I've got high hopes for him. He really could get into our first team at some point, I think. There's so many players to talk about. Look at this. I mean, so many players out on loan. Well, look at the under-23 squad. You can just see there's basically no one here at the moment. Kurt Christensen's still here. I'm thinking about selling him, but he's still young and he's a good third option in goal, I suppose. And he's probably happy to stay here as the third option. The under-23s crashed out in the quarter-final of the Leasing.com trophy this year. You can see some really big wins in there. We beat Luton Town 4-1 in that competition. We've had some big wins in friendlies as well. But as I said in the last episode, I've not focused so much on the friendlies this year. The under-23s, the under-18s had a really good season. They finished top of their group, but unfortunately lost the final again. So if we just look at the South Division, last year was the first time that they didn't finish top, but they rose back to the top this year, 53 points, really good season. Unfortunately, they just seem to fail at the last hurdle. They've lost 4 finals now and only won 1. But they did win the FA Youth Cup again, 6-2 on aggregate against Brighton. And they've won that 3 times during this series. So we obviously are producing lots of players that are really good at under 18 level. And in fact, I have produced a really good looking player through the academy this year. Kimani Mcarthur, a centre-back who can definitely be a ball-playing centre-back. He's also got a really good personality, he's driven, he's also got great determination. So I think he's going to go far. There wasn't really anyone else that stood out, but Andy Denton is decent looking, decent potential. Don't think he'll ever be a first-team player. Same with Abdoulaye Barai, but they're players that they might make it, we'll see. I love the name Barry Bruce as well, who came through our academy last year. What a name. So yeah, under 18's another successful season for them. Under 23 still going strong. Unfortunately, we can't seem to have access to the Premier League 2 competition. We're not invited. Really annoying. But as I said before, if you'd like me to do a separate video focusing in more nitty-gritty detail on these youngsters and all our players, in fact, then let me know in the comments section below. Let's get on with this Champions League final then. Our 6th final in a row, which is quite incredible, and we're hoping to win it for a 4th season in a row. I'll just quickly reintroduce the team. Kenneth in goal, of course. Max Aaron's back from injury just in time for this final, so he's not completely match sharp. I've got our first choice centre-back partnership this time around. Last year we had to play Peroso and Cardoso. This time we can play Todibo and Martinez. Oh, something I forgot to mention. Max Aarons featured in the World Team of the Year this year, also with Todibo and Belotti up front. So he managed to get into the World Team of the Year as well. Deservedly so, really. Here's Declan Rice, club captain, playing through with an injection today. He picked up a shin injury one day ago. It just made sense. I very rarely do that, but it just had to be done. He needs to feature. Germano, Delrison, who's just been superb, getting 19 goals and 25 assists this season. And Belotti with 43 goals in all competitions this season. And we've got a strong bench as well. We've got Lesage, the young right back who scored in the Champions League final 2 seasons ago. Shepherd on the bench as well. He'll probably come in at some point. But Katala just had to play. Olmo's not. He's just literally got back from injury a couple of days ago as well. So he's not match sharp either. The Barcelona team is very, very good. They've still got ter Stegen. It's only 34. They've signed Tomori from Chelsea for 36.5 million. They've got Delete, probably the best centre-back on the game. Laporte alongside him, who they also signed for fairly decent whack, 47.5 million. Benemetti, a regen. Probably trying to keep Pellegrini out of the left-back position for Italy. Havertz, what a player he is. Is that how it's pronounced? I'm not entirely sure. £68 million he spent on him. And Man United, look, it's actually gone down every single time, which is quite strange. But he's had a very, very good career. Bernardo Silva on the right-hand side. Signed him from Man City, of course. They've got so many good players. They really do. I feel like it's a better team than last year, but maybe we were just really, really good or really lucky last year to score so many goals against this team. Just doing some team talks. That seems to have worked. Only Kenneth hasn't really reacted. He's listened keenly, though. He's going to the World Cup as well with Nigeria, which is good to see. Look, I think we've got 15 players called up for the World Cup, actually. 4 of which are in the England team. Out we step onto the pitch, and I don't actually know where we're playing this year. Santiago Bernabeu. There we go. Barcelona playing in Madrid. And off we go for our 6th Champions League final in a row. Hoping to complete the treble again. We've won the Premier League, the Carabao Cup. Failed to win the FA Cup this year, but hopefully we can win this one. Let's show some passion. Come on, lads. Do something. It's been a boring first few minutes to this game. Germano's picked up a yellow, that's about it. And Declan Rice has picked up his 22nd yellow card of the season. He gets tons of yellow cards in this new role because I've told him to tackle hard, and he's basically the only defensive-minded player in the midfield. He does that job himself. But perhaps I should take that instruction off. The reason why I have it on is because I feel like we need someone who will tackle hard in that midfield, but we just get so many. He gets so many yellow cards. There's Dilrosun into the box. Dilrosun crosses in. Belotti off the post. Wins a corner so close. First clear-cut chance of the game. Andrea Belotti can't quite squeeze it in. And the corner is a bit wasteful. I've really not done much with set pieces at all during the 7 seasons. I've not focused on them. I've preferred to focus on actual play and scoring from open play situations. Here's Kemp out wide to Max Aarons. Puts a decent ball in. Dilrosun, it's headed away. Pellegrini. Katala, back to Katala, into Pellegrini. We're going to have another chance here. Katala's going backwards. Well, they're both going backwards, trying to find a way through. Declan Rice now, and maybe this is a chance. Germano, nice ball out wide to Pellegrini. Back to Katala, into Declan Rice, to Germano. Declan Rice again. We're just quickly moving. Oh, beautiful football. Max Aarons into the box. Max Aarons keeps going and hits it into the... Why don't they cross from those positions? It's really annoying. It's 0-0 at half time. We've picked up 3 yellow cards. I'm going to go for that. Fired them up. I think they're being slightly complacent because of the impressive result last year. We've not seen Cameron Kemp get on the ball and dribble, have we? I might actually tell my team to run at defence a bit more. Some of the players have these instructions anyway, but let's just get at them. Get at this Barcelona team. Here we go. First highlight of the second half. Pellegrini to take it into Germano. He dribbles and he's into the box. It's back to Pellegrini. This is a chance. He flashes it wide. I'm actually going to throw on Olmo for Germano. It's not been his day. It's not been Kemp's day, but I'm going to keep him on for the time being. Katala is on a yellow and he's nervous. I'm going to throw on Lewis Shepherd. Let's get creative. It's just not happening for us at the moment. We're closing ter Stegen down there, but he's managed to bypass 2 players as a result. And here's Auer. Is that how it's pronounced? Lewis crosses it in. It's deep all the way over to Tomori. He's got round the back. This is the first time we've seen Barcelona do anything, and it was a chance headed over the bar. They've really not been in this game, but I can't say we've done a huge amount either, but we have created a chance at least. Shepherd, he's just about held on to the ball with his dribbling ability. Pellegrini crosses in. Kemp heads just over. Belotti's on a 6.3. Kemp's on a 6.3. We've not turned up today, have we? Fiddling around with a few things. I don't know what to do. We've got one sub left in the 90 minutes. At the moment, it's going to extra time, though. We'll have the opportunity to make another sub. We've got nervous players out there. I'm going to say show some passion. That's worked, but still a couple players. Declan Rice is nervous, and that is a surprise. This has been a terrible Champions League final, and Barcelona might win it at the death here. It's headed away. Olmo, though, can maybe break. We've got injury time to go. Olmo... it's a good ball into Belotti. Hit it flat. Belotti now running it out wide, waiting for support. It's blocked, but it's back to Pellegrini. That's cleared, and now Barcelona can hit us on the break. There's so many men going forward there. Here goes Luis. Brilliant tackle by Todibo, but Luis is after it. Why didn't we win that? Max Aarons does well. It's end-to-end at the end of this game. Suddenly it's come to life. Declan Rice knocks it up for Cameron Kemp, who can dribble all day. Here he goes. He's going to go alone. It's opened up for him, and it's a brilliant catch by ter Stegen. We've had the chances to win this final, and we've not taken them. It's a great shame, and here goes Tomori. Suddenly this game has opened up in the last few minutes. Shepherd can't quite win that. Here's Bernardo Silva. Great defending by Declan Rice on the yellow card, and his injury, of course. Bernardo Silva again into Dembele. Back to Bernardo Silva. I don't know who that was sliding in there, but he missed. And Dembele can cross it. It's back to Tomori. It's good block by Shepherd. Oh my! How's this highlight still going? It's over for Dilrosun. We've not really seen him do anything. Dilrosun. We've got so many men charging into the box. It's blocked. Just get the ball in the box there. There were so many men. This highlight's still somehow going. Shepherd picks up the pieces. It's battered up to Kemp. Belotti. This is a ridiculously long highlight. I've never seen anything like it. Tomori. Still going. Back to delete. Over the top. Pellegrini intercepts. Martinez. This is going to be the end of the game, I think. We've basically had an epic highlight at the end of the 90 minutes. Shepherd. Look at him go. And there we go. It's extra time. I'm knackered after that. Don't let this slip away. We have been the better team. We really have. Just not taken the chances. Kemp, it's not been his day whatsoever. I'm probably going to bring on Skiankov. I think that makes sense. Play him as an inside forward on attack. Declan Rice is dead, but he's the only player that really plays that position for us. I could bring Cassini on. He's got penalty ability. He's the best penalty taker on the bench, I think. So I could bring Cassini on and move Shepherd there, and Olmo. I could fiddle around with it a bit. Let's start extra time. We have been the better team. I don't want to let this slip. Here we go. 91st minute. First highlight of extra time. Here's Declan Rice on the ball. Into Max Aarons. Back to Rice. Gets so much of the ball. It's a great ball to Dilrosun. What a pass. And how have we not scored again? A third clear-cut chance. Dilrosun. What is going on? I think we've been infected by the original FM20 match engine with all these clear-cut chances being missed. Here's Skiankov. Maybe our Mexican that signed, Corona, did give us some sort of virus, but an FM20 virus of some sort. Here we go. Declan Rice is dead by the sounds of it. And he's trying to charge back there. Here's our running at our back line. So wide to Ismana Dembele. Can he beat Pellegrini? He can't, but he's given... Pellegrini's done exceptionally well against two players there. Just don't give it away now. Shepherd clears. Dilrosun, look at him go. He's so powerful and skillful. What a run. Dilrosun all the way. And he's hit it straight at the keeper, and it's just not going in for us. 5 half chances, 3 clear-cut chances, 20 foot. We have clearly been the better team. It's just ridiculous how this hasn't worked for us. Now, I'm going to bring Declan Rice off. He has been stoic for us. Fantastic performance. Passing the ball around. He's the best performing player for us. But he's dead. And I'm going to bring Cassini on. In fact, I'm going to mix things up a little bit here. We're going to go 2 up front. Cassini will play as a deep line forward. Belotti alongside him. Olmo. In fact, why don't we play? Could we play 2 pressing forwards or a complete forward and a pressing forward? Let's try that. 2 up front. We're going to go a bit more direct. Let's see what we can do in this extra time. Second half of extra time. Desperate for a goal. It's going to go to penalties though, isn't it? Let's go very attacking for the last 5 minutes. It's not going to happen. Both defences have been really good. They've kept clean sheets and got very good ratings. Here goes Everton though at the death. Oh, is there going to be a cruel ending to this game? Griezmann goes out wide to Dibu, does excellently well. Everton back to Bonametti. Bonametti crosses it in. Surely that was offside. It is. The assistant, I saw him. Dembele was well offside. That would have been a very cruel way to lose. It's going to penalties. Kenneth, delightful ball to Max Aarons. And he runs. That's not how I wanted it to finish. It's gone to penalties then. And we've got our 5 best penalty takers on the pitch. So I'm pretty chuffed with that. On comes Shepherd as well. Pellegrini, Tadibo, Martinez, Max Aarons, and Kenneth will take the last one if need be. It's not been a classic final. It was a much more entertaining last few minutes of the 90 minutes and good extra time. First half of extra time, I suppose. But it has gone down to the wire. We've missed so many chances, and if we lose this, we've only got ourselves to blame. Look at the statistics. Belotti steps up and he slams it down the middle. Griezmann against Kenneth. Come on, Kenneth. I signed you for 150 million, rising to 185. And he didn't save that one. Cassini, off the bench, 20 years old, lots of pressure. Champions League final. Don't listen to me though, Cassini. Oh, he doesn't. He slashes it into the corner. Excellent stuff. Come on, Kenneth. Keep it out. Oh, he sends him the wrong way. Skankov. Not been my first choice this season, but he's still played well when he's had to. And up he steps, and all the penalties are flying in here. This might be as a result of the update as well. Really powerful penalties, just smashing into the corner. Can Kenneth keep this one out? Keeping his arms out wide. Oh, he went the right way as well, and he still didn't save it. Dillerson against ter Stegen, and that's right in the corner as well. I have a feeling penalties have been improved. Everton now. Against Kenneth. Come on, Kenneth, please. Oh, he keeps it out. It was down the middle. It was once again hit with power, but fortunately Kenneth stayed in the middle and tipped it round. And now, if we score this, we have won the Champions League for a 4th season in a row. Olmo, world-class attacking midfielder, back from injury. He's absolutely knackered by the looks of it, but he has the responsibility of taking this 5th spot kick. Come on, Olmo. Come on, please. Yes, we've done it. We deserved to win this final. It wasn't pretty in the end. We should have comfortably won it inside the 120 minutes at least. But it went to penalties and we scored all of ours, and Kenneth is the hero in the end, keeping one of them out. That's why I paid £185 million for a goalkeeper. Kept a clean sheet, of course, but still only got a 6.8. I suppose he didn't have much to do, that's the thing. Defensively, though, look at this. He was man of the match. It was Delete. Our man of the match was Declan Rice. They played really well. Played on a yellow card for the most of the game as well. Well, there we go. We've done it again. But I've still not completed that quadruple that I desperately want. We really are a special team, aren't we? I mean, look at this. 2 wins against Liverpool in a row. 2 wins against Barcelona in a row. We've reached 6 finals in a row. We just find this competition far too easy, really. We've won a quintuple. It's not really a proper quintuple, but according to the game, we've completed that. But I want the proper quadruple. We'll manage it one day, I'm sure. I think I'm a legend now. I think so. Declan Rice out for one day. That's fine. He's going to be at the World Cup. Be interesting to see if England can hang on to it. I want to see if I'm on the legends list. I am. I'm a West Ham legend. Oh, Dilryson's a West Ham legend as well already. And then on the icons list, we've got Felipe Anderson, who is now playing for Fiorentina on loan. He's moving to Sevilla, though, from Arsenal. I think I was right to sell him, actually, for the amount that I got for him. Lanzini, still playing for St Etienne. And then we've got Belotti, of course, Pellegrini, Max Aarons, Olmo, Tadibo and Declan Rice, the current favoured personnel. We've won so much. Look at this. It's ridiculous. Champions League winners 4 times. Premier League winners 6 times. We failed to win the Club World Championship, which is a little bit annoying. FA Cup winners, we've managed to win that 3 times during this series. We've won the Carabao Cup twice during this series as well. Super Cup, we've managed to win 3 times. The Community Shield, we've managed to win 3 times since the start of this series. Let's round this season off then by taking a look at some of the awards and the overall best 11. So no huge surprises there, I don't think, looking at that. Looking at this past season, I think that's about right. Oh, Shepherd and Katala are in there instead of Rice, though. That is a surprise. Where are they now? So Fornell's moved to Lazio, of course, last season. He's still there. Lanzini and Anson we've looked at. Lokonga is playing for Leicester still after his £22 million move. And Vishalko, at the age of 34, playing for Sporting. And Diop still playing over in China at the age of 29. Dilrosun wins Player of the Season award again. He really has been magnificent during the last few seasons. Belotti second, Todibo third. Kenneth Momo signing of the season, and Katala young player of the season. Let's have a look at the goal of the season from Kemp. I think it was Kenneth Momo's assist. Smashed it long up the pitch. Kemp ran onto it, brought it down nicely, and finished brilliantly. Just a classic lump up the pitch. I would say that, but I think Kenneth would say he had the vision and the passing ability to find Cameron Kemp perfectly. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt considering his attributes. That's the season review, and I think that's everything we want to look at now. Belotti second in the Golden Boot Award in the Champions League. Let's have a look, just to finish things off, as usual, we'll take a look at the player statistics. So the most starts was Kenneth with 54. Not sure he made the most appearances if you add all the sub-appearances up. Top goal scorer was Belotti with 44 goals. What a season. 44 goals, 42 starts and 7 sub-appearances. Dilrosun second with 19. Kemp third with 15. And Katala fourth with 13. Then assist-wise, Dilrosun ended up with 26 assists in all competitions. It said 25, didn't it, before? And then Kemp with 15. And then after that, we've got Germano with 11 and Skenkov with 10. Man of the match wise, Belotti the most with 10. And average rating wise, Dilrosun top with a 7.46. But there really were some special seasons. And Todibo kind of went under the radar a bit, but he really did have a very good year at the back for us. Katala, really impressive season for him. I'm not sure what's going on with training at the moment. There's lots of players with downward arrows, which is slightly worrying. Lesage, our second choice right back, played very well. Still described as a wonder kid. Thinking about next season, players that perhaps I'm going to sell or positions I want to improve. I think I need to try and sell Adero. He's not particularly happy at being second choice. I have transfer listed him. It makes sense to cash in on him a bit. I don't think I'll get a huge amount of money for him because he is a second choice goalkeeper. But yeah, I think that makes sense. I'm still relatively happy with Perozio and Cardoso as our second choice centre-back partnership. They're really good, and I think they're happy to be backups as well. We do have some youngsters coming through in that position as well, like Richard Robinson and the 2 players that I showed you earlier today. I'm tempted to improve left-back. Pellegrini is really good, but there is a really impressive youngster playing for Bayern Munich who's English. He's got 5 caps for England. He's only 20. I think he'll cost a hell of a lot of money, though. That's the only issue. I wish I had him. He came through the Bayern Munich Academy. He would be my ideal left-back, I think, if I could get hold of him. Central midfield, there's a possibility I need a kind of backup option for Declan Rice. Shepherd does fill in there, but he's more of an advanced playmaker rather than a deep-line playmaker. So I basically didn't replace McKennie, our American who we sold. Declan Rice just has to play so many games, and if he does get injured, it's a little bit worrying, I suppose, that position. But other than that, I think I'm pretty happy with the rest of the squad. I would quite like to get more out of this shadow striker role. I don't know whether I need to change it. I think it suits who we have, though. Of course, we've got Germano, who is a shadow striker. But I'm not sure how to get the best out of that position. And Morelli is the backup option there as well when he comes back from Norwich. So that's something to think about. I suppose as a team, it performs very well. It's just I'd quite like to get more out of that shadow striker role generally. And then striker-wise, Belotti, do we sell him? He is declining slightly. Physically, he's going to decline. I think if I am to get a decent amount of money for him, I need to sell him now. He's got 1 year left on his contract. I don't really want to let him go on a free next year. But at the same time, he's scoring goals. He scored 43 goals this year, but I just have that suspicion this could be his last hurrah. I think next year he would score lots of goals. I don't think he'd be quite as good, and I think this time next year, is physically, he'll probably be 13 pace and acceleration, and some of the other attributes might be slightly lower. So if I can find a world-class striker to bring in, that would be ideal, I think. Anyway, I think we'll end it there. Thank you for watching. We keep going. We keep going from strength to strength. As I said earlier, if you do want me to maybe release another sort of video looking at the players in a lot more detail, then I'm happy to do that. I've put the tactic in the description below. But until next time, enjoy FM20. Enjoy the rest of your day. Try not to get scared by this thumbnail Katala stuck on Mark Noble's body. I'll see you very soon.